and welcome to episode 172 of Gamers of the Lost Spark podcast. I'm your host, Andy Chasson, and joining me this week, it's the other Spark on the pod. He's probably run about 8 marathons since we last spoke. It's Mr. Stuart Burgess. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good evening, sir. Yeah, I am great. Thank you very much. I'm not running at the moment. I have a slight injury, so I'm biking, not running. So
oh right.
Yes. So it's very, very depressing, and I'm not enjoying it at all. But we'll look over that one.
What, so biking outside or biking static inside?
Biking static inside. So I've got one up at where my demo room is. I've sort of kept the old units. I say units, they're about the size of a typical sort of lounge. They're not massive. They're about sort of 4x7, I think, something like that. And I've got one of them which I've sort of turned into a little gym. So it's got in there a stepper, it's got in there a watt bike, and it's got in there a static sort of like multi-gym. And whilst I've been running, I've not been using it that much, but no. So I've got sort of like the watt bike with the iPad on the end of it, which uses an app called Swift. So you're cycling virtually in Richmond in the US. The map was
right.
So it simulates the hills. So if you're cycling along and it goes up a hill, you actually feel that in the bike. So but no, so because the car lives there, I got back tonight, dumped the van, sat on the bike, put on a bit of Saturday morning kitchen from the other day, and I just cycle away for half an hour, and that links to my Strava and everything like that. So it's all, but it just means I can feel a little bit better about coming home and having a beer.
Yes. Keeps that fitness level up, because obviously when you're better after Christmas, you don't want to kind of do the first run and really feel it, do you? No. That first run after Christmas must be a real bugger.
Well, I've sort of I did the Bournemouth Marathon, and then a few weeks later I had I'm trying to think where this went now. So yeah, I did the Bournemouth Marathon. A few weeks later I had to do my first in my half marathons for my fundraising, and then a couple of weeks after that I entered this 6-hour race I think I spoke about in the last pod I did, where I did another marathon. And then 2 weeks after that, which was last weekend I think it was, I went and did a half marathon at Goodwood Motor Circuit. And I think I've just sort of like, I've done a little bit too much. I've done not enough small miles, and I've done a lot of big miles, and my quads and my knee are not liking it. So my physio has advised me not to do anything more than a 20-minute run, which is hardly worth going out. So I've decided to do a bit more, just to do a bit of biking. So swap it around a little bit and use some different muscles.
Excellent stuff. So what else have you been up to while we've been podding? Well, you haven't been podding, I should say.
Yeah, while you and James did a fantastic pod last week, by the way. I had a bit of an issue, because I know when I text you guys or WhatsApp you guys, I was going to listen to it on the train on the way back the other night, but for some reason Apple Podcasts got to just to the bit that James was talking about being the ambassador, and then all of a sudden it started playing the previous week's episode, which I was on. And it was like,
oh, wow.
And I thought, what's going on?
I don't remember being on that podcast.
I don't remember being on the podcast with James.
What's my game of the decade?
So I rewound it, and I sort of, did the usual, quit the app, tried it again, wouldn't work. So I quit the app, rebooted the phone, still wouldn't do it. So I ended up downloading it on Overcast in the end, and I listened to it yesterday on my trip up to London, I think it was. So it was a very good podcast. So it was quite interesting listening to your choices of your gamers of the years and the gamers of the decade. So it was it's quite a nice change. But no, that was a very, very good one. But yeah, no, I mean, that night I was trying to listen to it. I'd gone up to last Thursday. I'd gone up to London. I had a meeting at Waterloo at 11 o'clock with a distributor of a new product that's coming on the scene, and then I met up with Simon, who works with me, and we went and had a Five Guys for our Christmas do. Who needs turkey when you can have a double cheeseburger with extra bacon and jalapenos?
Nice.
So we had that, and then we did where did we go? We ended up having that Covent Garden, so near where the Brewdog pub is.
Oh yeah.
And so we ended up walking down to Lego. I had a quick look at Lego, but I can't remember if I said before, but I bought the Batmobile, the new Batmobile has come out. So, so that's my little Christmas present to myself. So there wasn't a huge amount in there that I was sort of wanting. I had a wander up, usual flick into Apple, but we ended up going to the Microsoft store because I've not been into it yet.
What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Very, very different type of store than the Apple stores. But it was nice. It was nice. We sort of walked in off the street, and there was a lady there doing live mixing on mixing desks and playing some music. And then we sort of walked around the first sort of corner floor bit where they had the McLaren Senna. Which was I could have just stood looking at that for hours, but didn't get.
Did you ever go?
No, I didn't. There was about 6 or 7 people in the queue, and we were going off somewhere else. So we were sort of like, I thought, no, I won't worry about it. So, but we.
Did you see the little flap with the controller? Did you see where the way they reset? They basically the petrol tank.
Yeah.
They flap it open, and there's a controller in there.
Yeah.
So they could then just reset the demo and do all of that.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
And it was just great the way the hydraulics were working on the car to simulate the move, and it's
yes.
But no, I really enjoyed it. Went upstairs and had a look around now. Annoyingly, is it the Predator, the seat? I know they had the seat they have there with the 3 screens in it. That wasn't working. So because I wanted to have a go at that more than probably the Senna actually, but no, overall I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good store. There was a ample in there. You could get hands on with the Series 2 controller. You could all the new Surface Books were out, and they had a good range of their products. They had some Razer products there, and they had just a good range of stuff, Microsoft stuff.
Yes.
So no, it was a really, really nice store because you've been up there, haven't you, as well? I think.
I have indeed, yeah. I was coming back from somewhere. I think I was coming back from somewhere, and I was just like, "Oh, I could jump on a tube, and go back to work, or I could just spend 20 minutes." And I just kind of went round. Yeah, absolutely, I loved it there. I thought the Xbox area was awesome.
Yeah.
The mixer booth, the soundproof mixer booth, I thought looked fantastic. But all of those setups were really nice. I just thought it was really nice. I thought it was a great space.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's just because I don't know if you can rent it out, but just kind of seeing some kind of gaming thing happen there, I just think would be a real good watch. And I love that big sofa and that ginormous TV as well. It's really cool.
Yeah, I know because I haven't seen it actually because I think it's only on Mixer or YouTube. That Major Nelson did a podcast from there, didn't they? But they didn't. I know when I listened to their episode the other day, they said they didn't capture the audio from it, so it's a video only podcast. So I keep on meaning to jump onto his YouTube channel and have a look at that. But no, I was really impressed with that. And then we went to our usual yearly industry do. So we sort of jump into the tech journalists do round a friend of ours, a company called Cornflake, who are a similar company. They sort of do installs for cinemas and smart homes and things like that, but more for central London clientele. But they've got some really nice facilities just off Tottenham Court Road. So we quite often get tickets from a tech journalist, Steve May, who writes for quite a few magazines that quite a lot of our listeners probably will read. And we sort of go down there and just have a few beers, some wine, and some pizza. And this year we were having a competition which was banjo racing. So we were playing that downstairs in their cinema room to see who could do a lap the fastest. And it was just a general all-round good night. So we left there probably about half 8, 9 o'clock, and then I walked back and jumped on the train back down here. But did walk past Razor's new store, which is just on Charing Cross Road. That was opening Saturday, and I had tickets to go, but I couldn't get up there in the end. But that looked quite a nice store. I'm gonna have to pop back up and have a look at that. So see what it's like.
Nice. So where is that? That's Charing Cross Road, yeah? Is it like right up at the top, or
no? It's just by Leicester Square sort of thing. So if you walk past Leicester Square as if you're going up to Tottenham Court Road, it's not too far. Just sort of after that on the left hand side. So it's quite a good spot. It's obviously not as prominent as sort of your Apples and your Microsofts, but they would probably catch quite a bit of traffic coming across the road from Tottenham, from Covent Garden, I would say. But yeah, central London, good spot. So, but yeah, we'll go and have a look and see what they've got going in there, because I do like their stuff. I do like their computers.
Excellent stuff, superb. I mean, for me, I think since we podded last week, obviously, probably time of posting, I might be doing it the day before, but Rise of the Skywalker is this week, and I am so bloody excited. I have now gone dark, so I've gone dark on the internet now. I have just, I'm scared of my phone again. I love doing this every now and then, because I did it with Avengers. And, it's really funny. You jump into a meeting and you just like, if anyone starts to say, I'm just like, I don't want to know what the reviews are. I don't want to know if people are liking it, hating it. I want to go in with my views on Thursday morning. So I'm going Thursday morning. My last day of work is tomorrow, which is Wednesday. We're podding on Tuesday, 17th. So I've got a day at work, and then we're going to go and see Rise of Skywalker. We're going to watch Force Awakens tomorrow night.
Okay.
So we're going to watch Force Awakens tomorrow night. I've been watching on the TV and also on my iPad. I've been watching in chunks The Last Jedi. So because Nicola doesn't want to watch that because she just can't stand that movie. So we're going to watch Force Awakens and then go into Rise of Skywalker. So we're almost kind of like pretending it didn't exist. I'm watching it. The other day she was playing Demon's Tilt, which we'll get to in a mo, and I'm just sitting in the corner with like headphones on with the iPad, like watching The Last Jedi, like, don't look at what I'm watching because you hate it. But I must admit, as much as that film does get kind of a bum's rush, there's some good bits in it. There's some terrible stupid bits in it, but there's some really good bits in it. And the great thing is every now and then when I was watching on the TV, I'm kind of watching it in the 4K Blu-ray, and it looks stunning. I want to make sure that there's a fight scene at the end in the Emperor's or in Snoke's throne room. I want to watch that in 4K because that just looks stunning, so I'm kind of picking when I can watch stuff. So what I might do is, once we've watched Force Awakens tomorrow night, I might, like, Nicola can go off to bed, and then I might just kind of watch the end of The Last Jedi, and then I'll be right ready for, like, Rise of Skywalker. But at the moment, I think I said it before, like, with Avengers, it's really interesting how you're almost muscle memory. You pick up your phone, and I instantly pick up my phone and hit Twitter.
Yeah.
Or swipe to the right and look at the news.
Yeah.
And every time I do that, I'm like, oh, good God, like, stop it. Like, I did a tweet this evening because Untitled Goose Game is out on Xbox today. But I just did that by just literally, like, doing the touching down on the icon on my phone and then doing new tweet from there rather than going inside, because I'm genuinely, I don't know what it is. I mean, we've discussed this previously on the pod, but I don't know what it is, but I don't want to know what people think. I think I've done that before, where I've read reviews and then going in and I always have a preconceived idea that this is going to be good, this is going to be bad, and then my head starts going, well, what do you mean it was bad? This is really good. I'm really enjoying it. Why am I? And I start having, where instead I just want to sit there and just go, Star Wars, that's it. So I'm really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, this is our last pod of the year, so I might have to just keep my review until we come back in the new year. But I'm sure over the Christmas period, I'll probably see it a couple of times if it's good. I realised that I actually only saw The Last Jedi once at the cinema.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I only saw it. Well, yeah, I think I only saw it once at all. I think I got it. I got it on for the demo room with the to go back and watch it, really. But yeah, it's one of those things where I've sort of flicked through it and watched for certain scenes, but I haven't gone back and sat and watched the whole movie yet. So I wouldn't mind trying to take the two in before I see this one. I've got 2 more days, which I'm in London, and then I did look at, because Star Wars is probably one of the only films that will get me to go to a cinema, because I do want to watch it before it comes out on download for the Kaleidoscope or 4K disc. And I did look at one of my local cinemas, a little kino we've got here in Rye, and it's just like, so I got Friday where I'm hosting a charity do Friday evening, so I'm like, okay, during the day I'm free, because I didn't want to get delayed coming back and then be sort of like up against it to get back in time for 50 people who are coming to have like a quiz night. You know, we've got this funky guy called Punked Tacos, which has got like a van that he's going to park outside, and everybody's got sort of like some street food tacos and that. And I didn't want to sort of rush to get back, so I looked at times, and it's like, okay, I can go at 2:00 in the afternoon and watch it in 3D, or I can go at 5:00 or 8:00 and watch it in 2D, and it's just like, no, that's not going to work. So I don't know. I'm toying with the idea of maybe going up early next week, either up to London or up to Bluewater. And watching it, but I will, but I probably won't get a chance to do it till maybe sort of next week. So you could probably keep your opinions until we come back after the new year, because I've probably just about got to watch it then.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm one of those things that, even when I've kind of seen it in the cinema, I kind of keep very low kind of spoilers to a minimum. Never would never spoil anything, because again, it's kind of, I never want that kind of done to me. So I'm just like, I just want to. I'm really excited for it. It's really funny because I know once I've watched it, so come Thursday, once I get home on Thursday, I'm just going to be like online looking at YouTube, kind of consuming the content that I've been just like going straight past when I've been kind of on YouTube. At the moment, you're like, no, don't want to see that. So that's in a couple of days time. I've got one more day of work, which is honestly, the last couple of days have just been non-stop meetings from just from the start to the end of the day. It's just like blocks in my diary. My diary is just one big block.
The week before Christmas, as we were chatting before we started recording, the week before Christmas is always silly. Doesn't matter what doesn't matter whether you work in an office, you work in retail, or you work you're out and about like me. For some reason, you get everything from people that think, I'll ask them the week before Christmas, to, for no apparent reason, something goes wrong. I mean, I've been at a job today for 4 hours to fix a problem, which we fixed. I can't really put my finger on what the problem was. We just sort of unplugged a load of stuff and plugged it back in, found out what the problem was, redid that, but it's always the same. The week before Christmas, it is always the same. It's my worst week of the year. I can't wait till it's over on Thursday.
Yeah, it's really funny because whenever I go on holiday, that kind of couple of days before I go away on holiday, I've kind of blocked out the last hour of the day tomorrow just to kind of wrap up, just so I can kind of finish at a nice time rather than just kind of still be kind of there. And I'm just, I cannot wait to put my out of office on and then just kind of go on holiday and just know that the office is fine and everyone's happy. But speaking of holidays,
so you've got your holiday coming soon, haven't you?
I booked my tickets today. I booked my tickets today for Star Wars Land. So we're doing 2 Disney parks. So we're going to do 2 Disney parks, and then we're going to do 2 Disney parks, and then Universal Studios. Right. So we're going to do MGM, which is Star Wars Land, and then we're going to do Animal Kingdom, because last time we went, we never did Animal Kingdom, so I haven't seen the Avatar stuff. So I really want to go and see the Avatar stuff. So we're going to go and do those 2 things. So by the tickets that we've got, they should be arriving very soon, and once they arrive, we can then do we can book times for all of the Star Wars rides. So which is really cool, because so you can just kind of then go onto the Disney Go app or something like that and kind of go and book. I think you book the day. So we go, right, okay, the 12th of February, my birthday, we're going to Star Wars Land. So I can then say, right, I want a time slot for this and a time slot for that, and then it just kind of comes back and stuff like that. So, and then I was looking, we also, once I've got those tickets and it's kind of active, you can then book the Build Your Lightsaber as well. So I'm just like,
the smile on his face now on Skype is massive.
I was telling Nicola today, I met Nicola for a coffee, and I was telling Nicola today, and I tell you, I welled up just talking about like building a lightsaber. It's really funny. It's like, it's so funny because it was like if the builder or if the Jedi, I can't remember what it said on the app, if the Jedi is accompanied by an adult, the adult cannot build their own lightsaber. So I was like, Nicola, you're the adult.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, if you're coming along to take pictures of me, then you can't build your own one. You have to just enjoy my build, and you get to. And the cool thing was, and I think I saw something online, is that all of the parts, similar to Fallen Order, is what you get to choose. So you get to choose a hilt and a collar and the all of the different components of a lightsaber. You get to choose, and then you also get a carrying case and all of this sort of stuff. So I was just like, honestly, when I was reading it, I couldn't I was just so excited. I just can't wait.
I could see. Have you started up Fallen Order again, just so you can just play? Have gone to one of the desks and just looked at the different bits, looked at the different colours to make sure you get the right colour.
I was seriously thinking that, because I cannot decide right now what colour I want my lightsaber to be. Yeah. I was just literally, I was there, I was like, do I want blue? Do I want green? I was just kind of going through all the different, and so I actually thought about doing just that. I thought about just kind of like going, right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Fallen Order, because also you got the photo mode is in Fallen Order now, so which you can activate by pressing L3 and R3. You go into photo mode. Yeah. So I was just like, right, I've got to do that. So if I go to here, right, so you go here, it's like hand-built lightsabers. So what you get to do is you get one hilt, 4 sleeves, 2 emitters, 2 pommel caps, 2 sets of activation plates and switches.
Yeah.
And all of those you kind of get to kind of build your lightsaber, and then you also get like a little carrying case as well. Because Nicola said to me, she goes, "Are you allowed to take this on the plane?" I was like, "Oh, bloody well."
It's not going in the hull.
Exactly. It's so funny.
It could take her seat. She can go in the hull.
There you go. It's like guests of builders may not build a lightsaber when accompanying the builder, and I'm just like. Yes. So I can't wait. So we've booked that. We booked like the two Disney parks, and we might do more when we're there. But the last time we went to Florida last year, we kind of did too much, so we never ended up kind of going to all of the different places we want to go. So what we've done now is like gone, right, 4 parks, and then when we're there, we'll see kind of how we feel, and because it's very easy to just kind of go, I'm going to go for another day and that sort of stuff. So it's really easy to do. So I could not, honestly, I'm like messaging Nicola. We kind of sat and had a coffee today, and we were just like so excited. I said to her, "Are you excited?" And she was like, "I'm not as excited as you." I'm like, okay.
I did see. I was watching. I can't think of what it was now. I was watching a program the other day, and they were showing you the waiting area, the queuing area for one of the rides that's just opened. Yeah. I think it's in the Florida one. I'm not sure, But it was just the level of detail that they've done in the waiting areas. Because obviously, some of these queues are going to be big, as you expect at Disney. But just like, even when you're standing waiting, they've got sort of, like from cave walls, and then you're about halfway because they've got a couple of benches. And then you start to see some lockers with suits in them and some blasters in them. And it's just like you're looking at it going, you're not even at the ride yet, but they've spent so much time and so much money just on the realism of the set that you're standing in, waiting to go into the actual experience itself. It was truly outstanding.
Superb. I just cannot wait. Cannot wait. No, only 57 days to go, not counting. Right, let's get into some games. Stu, what have you been playing this week?
Well, at the weekend, I felt like, when you're at school and all the cool kids were in the corner and you're standing on the opposite side of the playground and they're all talking about this new flashy thing, and you're like, I'm on my own and I don't know what they're talking about, and I don't know what you mean by pressing this to do this. So I fired up Demon's Tilt on Saturday. Thanks for that one, guys. I was chuckling away when you guys were talking about it last week, but I think it's that classic game where I would never have played it, and I think you said this last week, if it wasn't on Game Pass.
Yes.
But God, is it frustrating. I think the first game I played, everything you guys were saying last week was sort of resonating. Like you can lose your first ball and only score 100,000, and then on your last ball you'll score millions. But I think in the end I ended up I wanted to beat your score on the leaderboard, although I know it's not your official score. But I wanted to beat that. But I beat that score then. I don't know what it is now. And then I just sat there and went, I'm deleting this because I could see some sort of controller rage happening, or something. Yeah, there was expletives coming out of my mouth, which the dog was not appreciating. So I just thought it's probably within my interests, financially and both sanity wise, to actually delete the game. So I did delete it. I have since re-downloaded it. I just haven't fired it back up yet. But it's good, but it's bloody frustrating.
It's really frustrating having James Thomas in your friends list as well, because he is just, honestly, I don't know how he's doing what he's doing. I mean, so far, has he beaten his score yet? An update on the leaderboards is James Thomas has 638 million. Nicola's second with 274 million.
Oh, okay.
Manny's third with 149. Matt 85 million. You 39 million. Me 36 million. Yeah. And Daz Witham with 31 million. Yeah. That's on my friends list. Right. But James is just like, you kind of combine Nicola's and Manny's, and it's like, and James is still beating all of us. James is currently on a 1 billion kick. It's really funny because he's just frustrating himself. He is just like, I want to get to 1 billion. So he's just playing. I mean, we're all trying to catch him, and he's just trying to catch himself. But it is just, it's one of those games where over the weekend, I mean, I've been playing it as well. Over the weekend, I've just been kind of like playing it non-stop. Nicola just like, we were decorating the house, we were doing all the Christmassy stuff at the house, and then she was like, can I play pinball now? Can I play? Because I think I gave her the controller like last Friday. I was like, just have a go, have a look, see what you think. And she was like, I like this game. She was just so and again, kind of like similar to James, she's just like there. And we watched, what did we watch? We watched on Friday, that's it. We watched the new Woody Allen movie on Friday. And then after that, she was like, right, and it was probably about 10:30 or something like that. She was like, I want to play the pinball. So we kind of fired it up. She's got the big TV, I've got a little TV. I actually, because we were playing so long, I fell asleep playing pinball. I was just there. I had my headphones on, and then suddenly my head just, oh God, I almost cracked my head on the wall. My head just went back because we were playing. I think it was like almost midnight, and Nicola's still there, like kind of, and she's it's similar to Overcooked. I can't look at her, can't walk in front, and I can't watch what's on the screen. At one point, I was like, her screen was going mental, and I was just like looking. She was like, she just sits there going, stop watching me, and it just really made me chuckle so much. I love it when she's doing that sort of stuff. Is
James on Nicola's friends list?
Yes, and Manny's as well.
Yeah, because Nicola's wasn't on my friends list, so I quickly, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but so I quickly went and followed her, or friended her, so because I knew she'd be on there, and I knew from the WhatsApp messages that she'd be going after Thomas's behind.
She is just literally like, even like Nicola's like, she goes, how does James do this? How does he do this? But she is like, I mean, we were having a discussion about what to play over Christmas. I'd be interested to know what you're kind of playing over Christmas. But Nicola wants to play. She was like, she gave me the kind of the gamut was like, I want to play a single player open world kind of, with leveling and abilities. And she's already done Spider-Man. She's already done Horizon Zero Dawn. She was toying with playing Zelda again. So I actually kind of decided on God of War.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to play God of War because I just said I need to get you away from Overcooked because the new Overcooked
festive
seasoning
DLC's down today, isn't it?
The festive seasoning. That's kind of Nicola's wrapping presents at the moment. But I said, the festive seasoning's there. Untitled Goose Game and obviously Pinball are all there ready for you. So I don't know what one she'll pick. She'll probably just pick Demon Steel. But she's got those. But she's going to play God of War War over Christmas,
okay.
and so I think I'm going to play Life is Strange 2. I'm gonna play that because I've only got to like the end of the second chapter, so I'm going to play that, and then I'm just looking about kind of what I want to play next. I want to try and get like 3 or 4 kind of like lined up, so I don't spend that day just jumping between them. I was thinking after Christmas, kind of more when I am listening to like Giant Bomb's Game of the Year, which lasts for like 25 hours. I was thinking about jumping into Battlefront 2 and playing some of that, because I'll be listening to a podcast but then just playing that. So I just thought that kind of might lend itself quite well, because I'm listening to that podcast. But if the great thing about the Giant Bomb Game of the Year, and I would highly recommend it to any of the Lost Spark listeners, because it is it is 25 hours of 8 people arguing in a room, split over many days, but it is a really fun listen. And the great thing about that is you can be doing chores, you can be doing anything, you just have that on and just kind of play. But so I think Life is Strange, I'm trying to figure out the other ones. What are you thinking about playing over Christmas, Stu?
I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to go back and do Control. Because I dipped into Control when Gears was having some issues at the beginning. So I dipped into Control, really enjoyed it, which sort of stopped me going back to Gears, but I went back to Gears and rolled the credits on that. But it's sort of like, then after that we had the flourish of Star Wars and Call of Duty. So I think my I'm playing a game at the moment which I'll get onto in a moment, which I found at the weekend. But I think my Christmas thing probably is going to be do Control, then go and mop up some achievements in Fallen Order, because I'm really close to filling up all the skill tree, and there's a few others on there I'm really, really close to, and then I might go and mop up some achievements in Call of Duty. But like you, actually, I think I did think about going back over to Battlefront. And actually, I'm sort of toying with the idea of playing a single player again, because I really did enjoy it. And I know it's going to be different to Fallen Order, but I did enjoy it. I'm just thinking, actually, it might give me that Star Wars itch that I'm missing from Fallen Order. The other one which I played at the weekend, which after your conversation just a second ago, I suggest you keep Nicola away from it, is Tools Up, the one you mentioned a few pods ago. I downloaded it from the awesome Xbox app and completely forgot about it, and then I was just rummaging through my library the other day and I'm like, I forgot that's in there. So I started that up, and I really enjoyed it. We played a few rounds of it on Sunday, I think, because we're having a bit of a family day Sunday, and I think you could be in trouble with this one.
I'm always in trouble. That's really cool. I can't wait. That is definitely kind of one that we kind of left for kind of Christmas. Like I say, it's just like I can't wait to play Tools Up.
It's a similar sort of style to Overcooked, and I know there's other games like it as well. But I've only really played it single player. We dipped in a little bit on double or on co-op, but I've mainly played it single player. But you play a handyman, a quite round and chubby handyman, and you go into it's a bit like an apartment, but it's set out like apartments. But you go into a house, and then you've got a set of blueprints laying on the floor. So the first thing you have to do is pick up these blueprints and work out what's going on. Initially in the first levels, it's like, right, I want you to paint that wall yellow, and then I want you to carpet the area in yellow carpet. So first of all, you're like, okay, where's the carpet? There's no carpet. But then actually a delivery man comes to the door and delivers the carpet. So you have to answer the door, get the delivery off the delivery man, put the carpet somewhere, and you have to do this within the time frame. And then as it goes up through the levels, it just gets harder and harder. So it might be that I'm only half a dozen levels in, but it's like I need to strip the wallpaper from that room and paint that room orange. Then I need to plaster that wall and paint that room yellow, and I need to take up the old parquet flooring, let's say, and put down some new carpet.
Awesome.
But you go in the first time of doing it and you think, okay, this is going to be I'm not going to complete it on this level. I just need to maybe take a bit of time, figure out what's going on, have a play, and then I'll go back in and do it again, because it's obviously 1, 2, or 3 stars again, unfortunately. But they just do little things like they'll put the orange paint in the room you've got to paint yellow, and the yellow paint in the room you've got to paint orange. So you have to sometimes go back to the plans. And then what I think is really clever is if you're running around too much and you knock the paint over, you spill the paint. Well, you've got to clean that up before you go, like a proper tradesman. So you're running around and it's going tick, 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 and I've got 20 seconds, I've got 20 seconds. All of a sudden you run into a tin of paint, the paint's knocked over, and you're like, no, I'm not going to be able to do this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it's brilliant. I mean, I think was it about £17 or something like that? I think it was. It wasn't expensive. Yes. But I think for if you want an Overcooked sort of type game, bit of co-op, or playing it on your own, really, really good. Again, frustrated, but I can see some many good hours of Nicola shouting at you for this one.
Absolutely, so that's Tools Up. Yeah. So that's a really good kind of one for Christmas. I also noticed that Game Pass also put up Ticket to Ride, which is a board game that both Matt and James were kind of highly praising, and Manny as well were highly praising. So that's one I'm thinking about for like Christmas Day or something like that. I'm actually toying with getting the actual board game as well, because it looks like, I think Matt was saying that you have to kind of almost keep your cards to yourself, so he wasn't sure how it worked on the big screen, but it looks like it could be fun. And again, that's on Game Pass. That's like Ticket to Ride. So I think that would be good fun for like Christmas night.
I've got
to go like playing with the family.
I've got to say, actually, just saying that, it's just brought back the tract. Is it tracks? The train track.
Oh yes, yes.
I played that after my little sort of lull of finishing Fallen Order, but not wanting to go back in. I just was a bit sort of like I can't think what it was now. I think I wasn't feeling too that great, so I think I stayed at home for the day, because I don't like going to clients' houses when I've got cold, because I don't want people coming into my house if they got cold. So I'm very much similar. So I was having a bit of a sulk about completing Fallen Order, and I started playing it, and I think within 6 or 7 hours I played it all, and I completed it all, and unlocked all 1,000 Chivos from it. But
it's good, isn't it?
What a bloody good game! I mean, even like Kate came down at a few. What are you playing? I'm like, I'm playing this game, and it's like this wooden track train set and all this lot. And I was explaining it to her. She went, just the music. The music is just like really sort of zen and chill out. I went, yeah. I said, I'm sitting here with a big mug of tea and some ginger biscuits, and I said, and I'm just building a train track, and I'm just like going to find these guys that are so if anybody's not played it, it's a bit like the wooden track train set that you put together, and you can go off and build your own train set. And I think you said on the pod before that you could put down 6 items and unlock an achievement. But when you sort of start playing the campaign mode, for want of a better way of putting it, you're in an apartment and you have to build this train track around the apartment, and it's almost like go and get these people and bring them back to the station. But as you start going through it, you realise that actually some of the track you built, you've got to either adapt or you've got to take down, because it's going to be in the way of another set of people you have to get later on. So I think there was one I did, which was go and collect these thrill seekers, which so they were like on the top of a shelf, like on top of a kitchen cabinet, if you want to sort of say. So you have to build a track that will go up to the top of this cabinet, but you can't go too steep, otherwise the train won't get up it. And then it says pick them up, and then before you get them back to the station, you've got to jump the train 5 times.
Wow!
And so you just come down. I just did sort of like step jumps, and as you're coming down in sort of in first person mode, you hear them in the back going "Yay!" as you jump. Yay! But it's just like it's just there's a little bit of complexity there, but not enough to rage quit.
Yeah.
But it is, if anybody wants to get their achievement score up over the Christmas holidays, it's 1,000 achievements. Not easy. A few of them you have to grind away at, but it's 1,000 Chivos really, really easy. Have you jumped in since you were talking about it last?
I think I had a quick go. The other day because there was a quest. There was a quest to get an achievement on a Game Pass game.
Oh, was there?
So I just went in, because there was one that all you had to do. There was an achievement in that game where all you had to do was just basically change the environment to every environment. So I just went pop, done. Right, quest unlocked, done. Superb. Because I don't know about you, but in the Game Pass app, they have daily quests now.
Yeah.
They have daily, weekly, monthly quests, and it's just like, and so every now and then I'll go in, and it's just like whenever you go into the app, you get a quest every day, and it's just like my points are just continually racking up. It's just, but then there's also, if you go via the quests on the dashboard, there's also some additional quests there as well, which I thought was quite interesting. But it's always good to get those kind of get that score up anyway. So what else have you been playing? So Demon's Tilt, Tools Up, and Train Tracks, or whatever it's called, Tracks. What else have you been playing, Stu?
So I was sort of hunting around at the weekend trying to find something to play, and I really sort of, although I'm happy that I'd sort of played Call of Duty and Fallen Order, I was a little bit like, I've peaked too early. I've sort of peaked before my Christmas period. So I came across Terminator Resistance.
Okay.
So, excuse me, I was going to write down the developer. I completely forgot to do it. But I saw it, and I just thought, I like Terminator. I've not seen the later one, but I like Terminator. I always liked Terminator films, and I thought, actually, if this is sort of like a Call of Duty style shooter sort of thing, I thought, it might be worth it. So I had a look at the reviews, and all the reviews were really good. And if anything, the only reviews that people were saying was that it's not worth £49. Maybe when it's £20. I can agree, because graphically it is a little bit ropey. However, people who made this game have got to feed their families, so hey, look, it's 49 quid compared to Call of Duty's now, which will cost you up to nearly a ton these days for the full package. So I downloaded that and jumped in, and I'm really enjoying it. So you sort of start off with your sort of typical sort of Terminator style. One of the Terminators comes up, grabs this person you're talking to in first person sort of environment and kills them. Picks you up and throws you away, and then you all of a sudden hear someone talking to you over a radio, so you start following what they tell you to do. And it's almost like the usual, where it's like, press B to do this, press A to do that. But fundamentally, the whole premise of the game is you are a resistance fighter from the East Coast, I want to say, of America, and you're trying to get in touch with the resistance fighters in the South Coast of America to tell them something. So you sort of meet up with this group, you help this group out, you get on the bus, you go somewhere, the bus breaks down, and it puts you in these preset environments, but they are sort of a bit open world, so you can wander around, find resources, pick locks, get into rooms. You come across the Terminator characters every now and again, and the idea is you're not strong enough, so you have to hide, because a gun doesn't stop them. So it's just that sort of nice sort of like first person sort of game where it's a little bit challenging, but the storyline's okay to listen to, the graphics are good, if not as shiny, they're not as shiny as Call of Duty, but then the budget's probably not there like as Call of Duty game would be. But I'm really enjoying it. I would recommend, if you're a Terminator fan, to go in and have a look at it. I think I'm not sure how long it is, but I've been really enjoying it.
That's superb. That's really good to kind of find something like that. I was just looking on the store. It's like Terminator : Resistance.
Yeah.
There's a colon in there. So experience the events leading up to the decisive final battle of the fate of mankind in the war against the machines. Terminator Resistance is a first-person shooter set during the future war scenario that only glimpsed at in the iconic films Terminator and T2 Judgment Day. The machines are destined to lose, but what cost? Ooh.
Yeah. And
and
I just, as I say, it's just quite an interesting little game. I can see that there will be some people who might play it and slate it, but but I think the reviews that people have been putting up on it sort of intrigued my interest in it, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it in that hunt for not really wanting to get into Control yet, because I want to do that over Christmas, and just wanting to just be able to pick up something and play for a few hours in the evening, or just enjoy myself, because obviously the game you're about to mention, you know, we're going to jump into that, and yeah, no, I'm really enjoying it. I recommend, you know, maybe people wait until the new year, see if it does come down. But you know, if you've got the money in your points for your quests, I wouldn't hesitate buying it.
Yeah, no, sounds cool. I didn't even know this game existed, so it was really good just to kind of spotlight something like that. So, which is really cool. Nice, excellent stuff. Anything else, Stu, or is that it?
That's it. Yeah, I sort of had a bit of a spat around and played a bit of this and a bit of that, but you know, I had one of those days where I wasn't really getting into things. So, what about yourself? Have you been playing anything else?
The only other game that I've been playing apart from Demon's Tilt is came out today on Xbox. I've already played it on the Switch, but it's came out today on Xbox, which means I get Chivos if I honk, and that is the Untitled Goose Game. So the Untitled Goose Game came out today on Xbox and also PlayStation 4 as well. So it's out on PlayStation 4, but it's quote-unquote free if you have Game Pass. So it's there and available on Game Pass. It looks stunning.
Yeah.
You know, it looks really cool. It looks, you know, it's very simplistic graphics. It's 4K, so it looks, I wouldn't say stunning, but it just looks very crisp. It looks very crisp and very kind of, you know, it just looks really nice. I think the thing for me is that all of my Switch games I always play handheld. So even the Untitled Goose Game I played handheld. So suddenly having the Goose and kind of like big screen, you know, up on the big TV, kind of playing it in 4K, it was just quite nice. So I had a game. I've gone through the first 2 levels. Because it's still challenging, even though you know the kind of the how to do some of the puzzles. You know, it's still challenging to do especially the gardener at the start. You know, kind of grab his keys or take his thermos and do that sort of stuff. For those who don't know, the Untitled Goose Game is you play just such a mean little goose. You play this goose who is just mischievous and just up to their gid, and you start off in the level and you come across a gardener in a patch, and then if you press the back button on the Xbox controller, you get a list. Get a nice little handwritten list of things that you need to do in that garden. So it's like there's a picnic rug, and on the picnic rug you need to take jam and thermos and other things like a sandwich and all these items that are around the world. And there is a gardener that you do have to try, and you have to try and take his rake and put it in the lake. You have to steal his hat, which is fantastic, and you just kind of, as you're doing it, you're just crossing off the list, and then once you get through that list, you then get a 70-point Chivo for doing that list, which is gorgeous, and then you just walk on to the next one. But it's just, I love this goose so much. You know, the game was one of those games where everyone was really excited for it. I think it was kind of one of those ones where everyone was excited when it came out, but it kind of had a couple of days of excitement. I saw there was a lot of Halloween kind of goose things, but then you kind of the kind of the hype around this game, the excitement around this game kind of fell off quite quickly. So it's quite nice to see it come back to Xbox and PlayStation 4 to maybe kind of get that again, because I just really like it. You know, you're presented with a sandbox, and then you have that list of 10 things you need to do. The first one's quite easy, quite straightforward. When you go to the high street, and then you've got a boy and a woman who's selling stuff, and you just have to do some things there. Some of them are kind of quite challenging, you know.
Yeah.
You do have to, you know, put yourself in the mind of a goose, a mischievous goose, and then do what you need to do. There's one where you have to chase the boy into a telephone box, you know, and you have to scare him, and that just makes me laugh every time, because you just honk at him and the boy will run away. But there's some really clever things that you just have to think about when you're looking at that list. There's a snatch and grab in every level, but then there's these extras, these other things that I just really enjoy doing. And that goose, he's got those 2 dead eyes, and he's just he's such a little bugger.
But no, I mean, I didn't play it on the Switch, but I was, when I heard the leak that it was coming to PlayStation 4, I sort of got excited, because I thought, well, okay, if it's coming to PlayStation 4, then it's probably going to come to Xbox as well. So, and I think I really enjoyed. I can't remember the name of the game now. The one where you were the hole and you had to move the hole around, it ate things, and then
Donut County.
That's it. I really enjoyed Donut County, and it sort of graphically, it sort of reminded me of that. And I just sort of thought that I really enjoyed that game. And sometimes it's that type of game, and just something that is looks really good, and it has simple mechanics but slightly challenging in places. So I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that me downloading severely affects my looking at you on the Skype, it would be downloaded on my Xbox as we speak. It might have even done it, because I did actually click install on Xbox on the app today, but for some reason my app gets confused and sometimes downloads it to the home one and sometimes downloads it to the office one. So I come home all keen to play it, and I'm like, oh, it's not here. And then I go up to the den room about a week later. I'm like, oh, it's downloaded to this one. Oh, okay, fine.
It just pops. It just pops and says, Untitled Goose Game downloaded. One thing that I did find really weird is that the achievement toasts pop in where the PlayStation achievements would pop in.
Okay.
So up in the top right-hand corner. So instead of in the bottom centre, they're actually appearing in the top left.
Weird. Oh, okay.
I wish they'd do that for Demon Steel, because every time you get an achievement, it's right in the way. When James was playing yesterday, he's off work. When he was playing yesterday, I started spamming him with messages. I was like, "Hello, James. How you doing? What are you doing?" Because I knew that would just be annoying him on Demon Steel. He'll probably go offline now.
No, I agree. I agree with what you mean there, because when you were saying about that on the pod, I was thinking about that, because you're looking your balls down the bottom, and you're going right. Yes. I need that green portal to light up so I can get it back up the top again, and all of a sudden that game, the tracks game, and then there's another game I'm trying to tools up. The achievements just pop like anything.
Nice.
I was swearing them at the weekend, and then of course listening to the podcast yesterday, I was like, I know exactly what you're going there.
Whenever I get an achievement, I just try to hold it. I just hold down on the paddle and just trying to hold the ball just there until it's like, okay, you done now. And it's just that sort of stuff. So
especially,
anyway,
especially if it's a rare achievement and it goes on that little bit longer as well, because you've got the spinning diamond.
Got that little toast that just kind of that's just such a good. There's still such a good sound. I love that.
I love it. Yeah.
When an achievement pops, you just want that sound. You want that kind of rare achievement sound, just because it's just so good. Anyway, right, let's jump into the news. But before we jump into the news, don't forget you can rate, review, and subscribe to this very podcast for free on iTunes, Spotify, and also in YouTube. In the news section this week, we say hello to that gorgeous new Xbox. Rise of the Skywalker comes to Battlefront, and Fallen Order sequel could already be in the works. I sense a Star Warsy news section. But let's jump off with the first piece of news, the headlining one, and that is the brand new Xbox. Stu, take it away, sir.
So it looks like we now know what we not looks like. We now know.
It doesn't look like it. We got it front and centre.
And that was a massive surprise, because I think I got back at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, from London, and I was toying with the idea of staying up and watching the Game Awards, but I didn't. So I woke up in the morning and saw a message from you, and I'm like, hey, what? So basically, the Xbox, previously known as Project Scarlet, is now officially called the Xbox Series X. So this was revealed on the Game Awards the other night, Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, or the Keigleys, it was. We were sitting there watching it. I mean, I've caught back with the Game Awards, and I think the advert was brilliant, but the advert sort of came up, and you're like, oh, what's going on? It's sort of like, it's this iconic speech in the background, and you're seeing these lovely graphics, and you're seeing, you're seeing that it's sort of like a bit of sort of undulating landscapes, and all of a sudden you see Master Chief, and you're like, is this Halo? And then it's just sort of like, you see this cube, this sort of like rectangular box appear, and then they basically revealed the Xbox Series X. So it is a looks like it's going to be a beast of a console. They basically, if you've not seen it, it is if you look at it from the side on, it's square, about about the width of an Xbox controller. Is it about 1.5 Xbox controllers? I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's one and a bit Xbox controllers, kind of deep, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it's and then it goes up vertically like your Xboxes do now. But as a few people have realised initially, is you can lay the thing down, so like you can. So basically, there is an illuminated Xbox logo serving as the power button on the front, like the normal ones that we have. By near where you insert the discs. You can have it horizontally or vertically. Looking at the GameSpot article, they basically, it looks like from the design of it, they've sort of wanted it to fit into the lounge, so be sort of like a box that can sort of fit into the lounge a little bit. I heard someone sort of compare it to a smart speaker. So it's not flashy and crazy. It sort of sits in the lounge and sort of just blends in with your stuff, whether you have it sitting horizontally and vertically. It's obviously uses the Xbox One controller, but it has also got its own new, slightly smaller controller with a share button on it. Which is one great for me because it now means my collection can carry on and not look too weird to the new ones. And I think we all know that it's annoying to share on the Xbox. It's I'm trying to find the specs on the article as speak, but it's I'm right in thinking it's something like 4 or 5 times more powerful than the X, I think they're saying.
Absolutely, I think they kind of announced. I think the Xbox Wire had a really good article the day after, kind of it went out, saying that from a technical standpoint, this is going to be 4K 60. Is going to be possible kind of out of the box, which is kind of what we wanted from this generation, from the Xbox One X, but we realised quite quickly that we weren't going to get that, so that's going to be there with possibly up to 120 frames per second. I think there was an interview that happened on Polygon, and they were saying that Ori and the Will-O-the-Wisp, when you kind of get to play that on Series X, that's going to be 120 frames a second.
Blimey.
So that that is going to look so smooth. I don't know if you saw the Ori and the Will-O-the-Wisp trailer, because that's been delayed a month. It was coming out the day before my birthday, but it's coming out now the 11th of March instead, so they've delayed it a month. But that looks stunning. They're saying it's going to be 4K 120 frames per second for that. It's they are, what was it? They were saying powered by a custom-designed processor leveraging the latest Zen 2 and next-generation RDNA architecture from our partners AMD. The Series X will deliver hardware-accelerated ray tracing, a new level of performance never seen before on a console. Additionally, our patented variable rate shading, VRS technology, which will allow developers to get even more out of the Xbox Series X GPU, and our next-generation SSD will eliminate load times and bring players into their gaming world faster than ever. And I think we got a taste of it as well, didn't we, at the Game Awards, when we had the brand new Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, that trailer, which they said was running in-game. And if that was running an in-game engine, the woman's face that was contorting and kind of singing along to that song, that trailer just freaked me out. But it just looked amazing. But it just looked absolutely fantastic.
I know that they said before that the faces in Hellblade are captured images, or some of these faces that they use, like for when they were close up with her, they are actually video captured and then rendered within the game.
That was in the first one.
That was in the first one. Yeah. So I mean, I agree with you. Her face was amazing, but when they then started showing you some sort of like some fighting scenes and things like that, I was just looking at, a bit like you did with COD. You're looking at the surroundings and the scenery, and you're just I'm sitting there looking at it and just going, I can't tell this is a game. It was so on the edge of what is real, what is computer generated. I mean, if this thing is knocking out what they're saying it's going to do, and after the Hellblade 2 trailer, I think this is going to be interesting to see what Ninja Theory come up with, because obviously this is their second game underneath there since they've been part of Xbox. But I just can't. I cannot wait. I mean, I know. I know. I say on the pod about I love seeing what's coming in the future, but let's appreciate what we got today. Yeah, today. I want tomorrow now, please. Not holiday 2020, please, Phil. Give me your one you've got in your house. Apparently, you're using.
But I think the look of the console itself. I can't wait to see what the box. As sad as I am, I can't wait to see what the box looks like. When that turns up from Amazon, that's going to be a sexy box. That's going to be a really kind of like sexy box that kind of turns in. But I think the design format. I've already kind of started looking at my AV cupboard. Obviously, because it's smaller than the Xbox One X, I've got 2 Xbox One X's in my AV cupboard. And what I was thinking about doing was the one that I use on the smaller TV for me. I was actually thinking about having that outside of the cupboard and tucked into the corner, because the back wall is kind of like a dark grey, just behind the bookcases. It's gonna just like blend in so lovely. So I thought, I might just stick that into the corner there, and then just have one, because I've got to make space for other consoles. So I just thought, I could do that, and then just kind of have that in there, so which might be quite nice. I'm already thinking about that. When I saw it, I was just like, oh god, it's just so lovely.
And if it's got that orange, if it's got that green glow coming from the top of it as well.
Do you think that'll be customizable? Do you think that'll be like you can turn it off, you can change the color? You can imagine if they could be able to kind of like change the color of that, or do something like Razer, similar to kind of what Razer do, like in a system configuration, you could change that from like a green glow to no glow to a blue glow if you were playing Gears.
I think that's a great idea. I think I've seen some very early people playing around with this and rendering it, and I think it's a gorgeous looking device, and I think that and I know people have been turning around and going, I can remember when I got my snares, and I would like the look of the snares, and and it was all these curvy lines, but I love the plain side of it, but I also like the fact of there's a lot of surface area to do something funky. I mean, you could do an R2-D2 version of this, and it will look stunning, a bit like the 360 one. You could do so many different versions of this, but I think you've come up with a cracking idea there. If you could change that colour, but that colour changes based on the type of game you're playing. You could use it almost like a Philips Hue light to light up behind your back of your TV. I think that would be quite good. But I love the look of it.
What I was thinking was, similar to like the PS4 controller, like where you have the PS4 controller, you can change the light on that.
Yeah.
Just having that subtle light might be quite nice. I just can't wait to see this. I mean, what do you think of the name? I mean, instantly when I saw that, I was on the train, I was going to London, I was up early going to London, and I just, honestly, I thought I was worrying the people around me, because I was just staring at it for a long time. I just expected someone coming, are you okay? And I was just like staring at this, and I was just like, because I think that I echo your thoughts. I think it's very minimal, but it's very stunning. This is kind of what I want from my console. I love this kind of look and feel. It looks a bit chunky, but I'm happy with that. I like a bit of chunk. But what do you think about the name?
I think it's a great name. Now, my reason is, and I think a lot of people have also cottoned onto this. In the last week or two, we've had people speculating more that there is going to be another console. So there's going to be the Anaconda, which is obviously we now know as a Series X, but there's also potentially going to be a Lockhart edition. So whether that is similar to the all digital edition, or whether that is similar to like what we have now with the S. So I think they've been smart in the same way that we have the different types of models on our iPhones and our Samsung phones. I think that I can see an Xbox Series S coming out, and I can play. Yes. I can see them playing around with the different series names. So if you want a all digital edition, potentially, Xbox One X style gaming console, you will go for the Series S. But if you Series S, maybe Series Streaming, that's what it might be called, but if you want the all-out one, then they've kept the X name, because I think people have got to know the X as being the world's most powerful console, the only native 4K console. So I see it as being interesting. People have now speculated on where they're going to go next. Okay, well, let's not worry about next, because next is 2026, 2027. So you can take the X and you can go the X Pro if you go the Sony route, or you can go the X Max if you go the Apple route. So I think it sets them up for 2, maybe 3 models underneath the Xbox banner, all different price points to get more people on board. Let's do a Series X with a year's Game Pass thrown in, or Game Pass Ultimate thrown in for a bundle price, and that's all you need.
I mean, if you think about it, pundits like us and everyone who just loves talking about this stuff, the same conversation was happening when the One came out.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's the One. When it was announced, where are they going to go next? And, I agree with you. It's like, I'm just going to enjoy this. Phil Spencer is a smart man. He'll figure out where we're going to go next.
Yeah.
And do you know what? We had a console called the Wii, and we loved it. So it doesn't matter what it's called. And it's just the reason why I asked you about the name is because I think it's a really cool name. It, like you say, it fits with the technology trends. It also, as you say, it mirrors the Xbox One X, so we know that is powerful. And I agree with there's going to be an S or something, another one. But I was listening to podcasts when this came out. I started listening to some podcasts, and some people were kind of getting themselves in a right muddle about the console name. And I just feel that just don't worry about it, because when someone says to you, right, what are you playing the new Division on? You're just going to say Xbox anyway. You're not going to go Xbox Series X, 1 terabyte edition. You're not going to say that. You just say I'm playing on Xbox, and that's it. The only time that we worry about this sort of stuff, the only time we get kind of a bit wrapped up in this is when this first comes out. We see this new information, that's new, I don't know how to process this, but just go past the name and just enjoy the form factor and the so I mean, looking at the console, it's really funny, because when I first saw it on Friday I was like, holy moly, that is ginormous, I'm never going to fit that in my AV cabinet. And then I looked at the picture, I was like, hold up a second, that's a controller next to it. And then I started working out kind of how big the controller was to how big this thing is, and it was just like, I think IGN gave a nice handy guide where they had it alongside an Xbox One X, a PlayStation 4, something else, and a banana, so it was quite nice just to kind of see that kind of comparison. And you look at it and go, actually, it's not that big at all. This is a nice little tight. I bet it's as chunky as hell, because the One X is a bit of heft to it, isn't it? The One X.
I think you're going to look at this and go. I think you're going to look at this and be surprised by how small it is, but how chunky it is. But I also think you're going to pick this up, and you're going to feel reassured that there is no empty space in there. I think Phil's actually gone on record saying that the space within the Series X is being used very well, and I think that the airflow through it, obviously since the 360 days, they're paying a lot more attention to that with the One and the Series X. So I think my only annoyance with this, and is within my career, is that it's at least a 2, maybe even 3U rack space height.
Right.
So compared to an X or One X, it's taking up potentially twice the space height wise than an old Xbox was. And the one thing that I struggle to get in clients' houses is racks, because generally they're under a cupboard, no one wants to see them, so you have to cram as much in as you can. So but hey, at least it's not like some of the wonky players you get. Like, I think one of the American versions of skyboxes was sort of shaped like a lightning bolt, and it's like you try getting that into an AV rack. So but I can't. I can wait, but I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to next year now. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the some more Microsoft first party titles that are coming out. I think it's going to be a great year for that. And then E3 is going to come around. We're going to see more, maybe hopefully some in-game footage of Motorsport, Forza Motorsport, and obviously Halo, the new Halo, and some more Hellblade. So I just cannot wait.
I think the interesting thing now is that it's your move, Sony, isn't it? It's like Sony's move, and I'm sure Sony are ready and they're prepared and waiting for this. They have scenarios already mapped out. A scenario where they go first, a scenario where they need to kind of get out in front of this. I'll be really interested to see if their design philosophy is similar to the Xbox One X design philosophy as well, and whether they're kind of very similar looking consoles. I think there was something on Twitter before I stepped away for Star Wars. I think there was something where someone was saying a leak of a PlayStation 5 looked very similar to the Xbox One X. So I'll be really interested to see if that actually does happen. That would be quite a chuckle. But I kind of feel, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel that Sony are going to obviously not do anything now. We're probably going to get February, March time where we get our first sneak peek of the PlayStation. They do have to worry because they got a big title with The Last of Us Part 2 coming out at the start of the year. So they don't really want to go, oh, here's a new game, but here's new shiny, because that kind of could put people off. They go, well, I'll wait until it comes out of that. If they come up with a message to say, this PlayStation 4 disc will play on your PlayStation 5, then that will make everybody happy, which they have to. It's almost like, the Xbox One X will play 4 generations of gaming. So from original Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, those games are all going to play, so that's going to be fantastic.
And the fact that the controllers are forward and backwards compatible, so if you can't afford a Series X, I heard one of the podcasts say over the last few days was like, the good news is you'll be able to buy the controller. So if you can't afford the Series X and you've just got your X, you can buy the Series X controller and use that on your One X.
And pretend.
Yeah, and pretend. So
yes.
I think the only glaring obvious thing is the share button. I mean, obviously the Series 2 Elite controller, that obviously hasn't got the share button on it, but maybe we'll be able to remap one of the buttons in that. So, one of the little triggers underneath it, you can use as a share side of it. I'm sure that will come out.
Yeah.
But no, I think hasn't The Last of Us been pushed back? I thought that got pushed back in the year a little bit.
Well, I thought it was coming out in April, but I kind of feel that that PlayStation are going to kind of come out, and I'm not sure. I would like to see more of Series X before E3.
Okay.
I'd love to see kind of like some more, whether it's like a digital foundry or something like that. Similar to what they did before. I'm just doing Last of Us. I
suppose they're going to they'll do some more inside Xbox, won't they? Because obviously the XO19 was the last one. So they're probably going to do it inside Xbox, maybe February, March time. So we may well see it, Major Nelson standing next to a working or non-working prototype, and talking about it a bit more. So it's out in the wild now, so they might as well talk about it.
May 29th.
Okay,
May 29th is Last of Us Part 2. So that kind of makes, so I'm kind of thinking, get Christmas out of the way. Maybe March we'll get something out of PlayStation, kind of showing us what they need to do. And then whether, Xbox. I don't know about you, but when I saw this, I was surprised that this didn't make it to EXO.
Yeah, I think...
We'd have gone nutso. We'd have gone nutso at EXO. Our title would have been nutso at EXO, because imagine being able to get close to that machine and take a picture of it. Imagine just being able to not play it, but just actually kind of get close to one of those builds. Maybe it just wasn't, they weren't ready. They knew what they were doing. They've had this plan for years. They know exactly what they were doing. But I know EXO, when I rewatched it, it's all about kind of just making. I think with Xbox Sony out of the gate are like, here's our first parties, our first parties, you love our first parties, look at that. But with Xbox right now, they're about reassuring people that you're going to have a game a month, you're going to have first party titles, that you're going, just what I was talking about before, when Nicholas said to me, what game can I play? I'm looking at Xbox Game Pass. I'm looking at Game Pass. I'm looking at that. There is nothing. There is no third-person action adventure game that is an open world, apart from maybe Tomb Raider. There is no kind of game that I can play that I could recommend, apart from like Assassin's Creed, which is third party. But there was no kind of. So I was sitting there. I was like really racking my brains on Sunday, and that's when I was like, oh, what about God of War? I like that. And she's like, well, I don't really like that. And then I showed her. She was like, oh no, I like that. That looks really good. But yeah, so they've got to. So maybe that was about kind of, look, this is what's happening with games, and then that's coming out. But they really do need to kind of have that message. We still haven't seen what Playground Games are up to.
Yeah.
The Playground Games are constantly kind of showing pictures of new people joining every week in their RPG and also in their driving games, projects. Yeah. But we don't know what that is, So it's kind of like, when are we going to get that big reveal that's just going to blow our minds?
I think from your comment about why wasn't it shown at XO19, I think it's simple. It's demographic audience. Keeley was going on from the. I mean, I only got about halfway through them, catching up, but from the get go, he was very much like, we are streaming on 50 platforms around the world, live right now. And I think that not me being cynical, but there was a lot of there was lots of people who support different platforms, who maybe only have that one platform, who watch the Game Awards, and they would have seen that. So I think that there will be a lot of people, in the same way as I'm not, anything comes up with Xbox, I'm always watching it. If it's a bit like an Apple conference, if it's on live, I'll watch it. If it's on at stupid time, I'll catch up with it. PlayStation, not that bothered about, but I will sort of catch up with it, obviously, because of my commitments to the pod and whatnot. So I think that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of Nintendo, PC people that PlayStation people that wouldn't have watched XO19 because it's Microsoft. Mm-hmm. They don't own an Xbox, and I think that just purely for the fact of people watching, the demographic of people watching it, and the fact that it was so left field, no one was expecting this. And so I think that, I think that's it. I think that's why they did it there and then. It got the biggest reaction.
Absolutely. It took over Twitter on Friday and Saturday. It was just, that was all you could see, and I was glad, because it was just, it's a great, everyone's excited about this next generation, and I kind of feel that this next generation, the graphics are going to be just the graphics and the open worlds and the amount of things that they'll be able to put in these worlds will just be all of those things combined, plus that gorgeous 4K 60 frames a second that you can get on PC right now, but that's a really expensive PC. I cannot wait just to kind of see what's next, and those next consoles, and it's just so I'm all in. I mean, I'm all in, and I think the general consensus from all of us on Friday was want it. It looks cool.
I'm gonna like the name. I'm gonna put my pre-order in. I'm gonna do my pre-order race like normal. I'm gonna book the day off, no matter whatever day it is. I'm gonna book the day off, and then I'm gonna order one for the office from Amazon, and then one from the office, one for the house from Microsoft, and see which one turns up quickest. Let's hope it's not a repeat of the X when neither of them turned up on launch day, and I was very angry.
You really was, because I got two,
yes,
and then
you came to yours
for tweeting them.
Yes. And then he came up to yours to go and buy one from you.
It's just like, so yes, no, I've got to do, kind of like, I said to Nicola, I said, do you want one? And she was like, well, what games are coming out? And I was like, well, I think Halo, and I had her at Halo. She was like, yes, I want that. So Xbox Series 1X coming this time next year. We'll be playing that. Hopefully we will also be playing a PlayStation 5 as well, but we're going to have more information about that in the new year. Stu, we got Hellblade up next. Do you think you've kind of covered everything on that?
Yeah, I was sort of going to cover that in respects of the conversation, saying that this is the Mark's second game revealed by Ninja Theory since being purchased by Xbox. Obviously, they've got Bleeding Edge coming out, which I've heard some good things about, and obviously seen that. So that's obviously going to come up. So it's good to see that we've got, we don't know much about it, but we've got two very different games coming from Ninja Theory. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Hellblade looks like, and getting a bit more on that. So that was really, I think we've covered that. But the next story is flipping back round to Star Wars, and over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the next three stories, it looks like a Star Wars sandwich. So we get a sandwich, a story in between two Star Wars stories, and that is that, I was talking about it earlier about maybe kind of jumping back into Battlefront 2, and there's a good reason to jump into Battlefront 2, because starting today, the 17th of December, there is a celebration going on in Star Wars Battlefront, and they're celebrating Star Wars Rise of Skywalker content. So there is two kind of main pieces of news for Battlefront, and and I'm just so glad that their content is constantly being updated. So we've got Star Wars Battlefront 2, the Celebration Edition, and the Celebration Edition is $39.99. I think it's like £34, so $39.99, £34 in the UK. And what the Celebration Edition gives you, the base game, including all of the updates and everything you'll get there. It also gives you more than 25 hero appearances. You get legendary appearances from Rey, Finn, Kylo Ren, and other inspired from Rise of Skywalker. You get 125 troop and reinforcement appearances, more than 100 hero and trooper emotes, and 70 hero and victory poses. So that's all in this Celebration Edition, including that gorgeous red stormtrooper that we're going to see in Rise of Skywalker. If you're an existing player like us, you can upgrade. I think it's $24.99. I'm not sure what the UK price is, and that's just to kind of get all of that content that I was talking about. But if you don't want to buy the Celebration Pack, it doesn't matter. Rise of Skywalker is still coming to Battlefront 2, and what you're getting, again, starting today, there's a free update that's going to give you a new location. So there's a brand new jungle planet that you might have caught a glimpse in the last trailer of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. That's coming to Battlefront 2. That they're also bringing that to the co-op later on in December. I think next week it's coming to the co-op as well, and so where you'll be able to play as either the Resistance or the Fallen Order as the conflict spreads to this tropical paradise. At the same time, the location will be available in Heroes versus Villains 2. So all of this just seems like it's just a great time to jump back into Battlefront 2, as well as Tokodana, Jakku, Starkiller Base. All of these are also going to go into that co-op rotation as well. You're going to get appearances from Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren, even if you haven't bought that Celebration Pass. And all of these, like I say, are coming. I think it's December 20th. There's going to be some will release today in that free update, but a lot of the stuff is going to come out at the same time as the movie. I think we get it a day before, don't we? So we don't get Mandalorian, but we get Star Wars a day earlier than the US. Sorry, our US listeners. So you win. You have Baby Yoda. So they get that. And then in January, there is even more stuff coming as well. So we're getting even more stuff coming in January, such as some big supremacy matches, really celebrating the Star Wars saga in Battlefront 2. So I tell you what, Stu, I am really kind of, the more and more I read about this and the more I see it, I'm just really convinced I'll kind of want to jump into a bit of Battlefront 2 over Christmas. Whether I'm listening to Giant Bomb argue about what game is better, or it's just kind of playing this game, I just think this is definitely something that kind of needs to kind of jump back into.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it reminded me, I saw an article on Polygon, I'm just looking at it now, on the 4th of December, about everyone's favourite spherical droid, BB-8, is coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a playable hero character in January. So it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to be rolling around in circles as BB-8. But yeah, I think it's great because, I mean, what is it? 2 years old now? Is that, I want to say, is the
yes.
game? Yeah, because last year was Battlefield 5, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and they're not. Yeah. So, but it's I know back. When they released it, it was at 2017, wasn't it? So 2018, they said that they were going to be supporting it going forward, and yeah, I know it's had its critics, but I'm just really pleased that they are still supporting this and making people like me and you want to jump back in, to see what it looks like, to play the new characters and to tie it in with the new film, because it's great watching the film, but in the same way, it's nice just seeing that film, like going around London the other day, there's Fallen Order on the side of the buses everywhere available now, and you see, like, you go past a McDonald's potentially and they've got the Happy Meal characters, potentially, I'm not sure if they're going to do it, it might be Star Wars, and it's just nice to be surrounded and cuddled by all this Star Wars sort of goodness, and to go back to a 2-year-old game and let us play a different game to Fallen Order, but still but play some of the latest characters. This is brilliant. I cannot wait. They can have my money now.
But there's a really cool Star Wars Battlefront 2 Rise of Skywalker trailer. I'll stick a link in the show notes, and that is just gorgeous. And you just halfway through, you see BB-8 kind of rolling through this forest level that they're talking about, you know, and it just looks so cool, and it just looks stunning, you know. And anytime, I mean, the thing I always love about jumping into Battlefront, and I do it every now and then. I think I'm still quite a low level because I've never really kind of stuck around for a long time, but I just love jumping in and having a game of supremacy. You know, I die a lot, but I just love kind of being a stormtrooper or doing something like that, and then seeing those heroes, because every now and then you'll see Darth Vader or Darth Maul or you know, or Kylo Ren or something like that, just kind of jump in, and it's absolutely fantastic to see. Sometimes scary because suddenly you'll just see you know, there was that Ewok one where the Ewoks were taking you out as a you're a stormtrooper, and that was genuinely kind of disturbing, but it was just so much fun. And I just think that, you know, this is the right time. We've got the end of the saga. You know, this is a 40-year saga that they're potentially closing off with this movie, so this is the perfect time to kind of, you know, play. I'm sure there's a big fan base, and I'm sure there's a big player base with Battlefront 2, and it's free. If you have EA Access, you can get it for free, you know, quote unquote free. It's part of your subscription if you have EA Access, so you don't even need to buy the Celebration Pass. You don't even need to kind of top that up. You can just kind of use all of the free content that you've got there and still kind of have the new Rise of Skywalker. So I am quite excited about Battlefront and looking forward to kind of jumping back in.
Definitely. Cannot wait. When did you say it was available?
So the Celebration Edition, the Celebration Edition is available today.
Okay.
That update, but there's also a free update, and I saw when I was downloading the Untitled Goose Game, I saw the update come in for Battlefront 2. So there is a free update. So like I say, you don't need to buy the Celebration Pass in order to get the new jungle map that was in the trailer. That's just there, and like I say, I'll stick a link to the trailer as well, because that is a sight for any kind of Star Wars fan. It's really cool.
Excellent. We'll be looking at that once we finish podding, downloading, making sure things are ticking away.
Exactly. Next piece of news, Stu, is with you.
So I was just having a flip around, and I thought that we're quite heavy Star Wars, we're quite heavy Xbox, so let's chuck some PlayStation stuff into the news this week. So came across an article on Tech Radar, and from this afternoon, and it's the PlayStation 4 controller. So we're still talking about PlayStation 4 at the moment. PlayStation 4 controller will get customizable buttons with a new add-on. So the article goes on to say Sony has announced it is releasing a back button attachment for its DualShock 4 controller that will allow you to add 2 customizable buttons to the PS4's gamepad. The DualShock 4 back button attachment is aimed at gamers of all skill levels who enjoy game playing competitively. The customizable device can be attached to the back of the DualShock controller, and it adds 2 back buttons that can be mapped to 16 different actions, such as triangle, R2, R1, and so on. The back button attachment, and that is its official name, well done Sony, slots onto the bottom of your DualShock 4 and features an integrated OLED display to allow you to program and customize the buttons easy. So it's looking initially that you can actually potentially do this from the controller. So I'm guessing you might not have to go into like we have to go into Microsoft. You have to go into the Xbox to map the Xbox. So it looks like you might be able to do this on the fly, depending on the game, which would be good. In addition, there will be a button that will allow you to quickly remap these as back buttons. You'll be able to save up to 3 different button profiles on the device, and there is also a headset pass-through, so you can still connect your headset to controller. Sony has stated that the back button attachment will work with all of your favourite PlayStation 4 and VR titles, which could be quite cool. Which doesn't specify it works with any titles or not. It could just be a few favourites. While Sony has endorsed third-party pro gaming controllers, this is the first time the company has released something close to a customisable pro controller of their own. The back button attachment is launched in the US and Canada on January the 23rd next year for $30. Pricing in the UK and Australia has not been announced, but it's currently confirmed that the attachment will be launched in these regions. So, yeah, what do you think? It's
I'm seeing this for the first time. I didn't even hear about it, obviously, because I'm dark on the internet. And this looks really cool. Yeah. You're right. I think you don't need to go into the app. It's almost like you press down to do a profile, and then you just toggle through what you want those buttons to be. Yeah. But I'm just trying to think how that kind of... that's quite nice. It's almost like those paddles underneath an Elite controller, isn't it? It's kind of almost like that. But I love that. I love that little sexy OLED screen in the middle. That's really nice. So I kind of imagine if you were playing like a racing game for... kind of controller up, controller down, kind of gears up, gears down, that'd be quite nice. Or even a shooting game, that might be quite... It might be a nice little kind of configuration.
Or even pinball.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's what's the name? Is because I know it's coming to Switch. But is it out on PS4? I mean, if it is, buy it now, people, because it's amazing. But yeah. So, and what was it? It was $29.99, wasn't it, for this? But it comes out in dollars at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. It's it looks like it's going to be quite cool. Cool little attachment. So I think it's it's PlayStation's way of giving a little bit more flexibility around their controller. But one of the reasons I did put this in also was the fact of we've seen early patents for the DualShock 5, so maybe something like this might be a little bit sort of let's test the water, see how it sells. To this, you might find this is actually a feature that they're going to roll out on the PS5, and they're sort of like doing a little bit of a test bed, a bit of a sandbox sort of thing, a little bit in the way like Xbox are doing with the all digital edition. PlayStation could be using its current generation to look at some attachments and some bits and pieces to maybe make a second type of DualShock controller going forward.
Yeah. No, it's very cool. I like that. That's really nice, actually. It's a nice little kind of attachment. And I like that they have, they know that people will be using that headphone as well. Yeah. So that's kind of that pass-through in there is fantastic as well.
Yeah, they mess up the pass-through for 4K on their PlayStation Pro with their VR, but they can remember a headphone for a, for a controller.
Still too soon, Stu. Still too soon. Oh, superb. Excellent stuff. And then the last piece of news is also with you and your internet searching today.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just Star Wars is flashing up everywhere, Anthony. You want to go on the internet and just see what's going on. There's so much Star Wars. I mean, Chewbacca's brother turning up. Who would have thought about that? Anyway, before I get mic drop and this pod goes just one host, I'm going to read the next story. So
I'm just going to edit the pod so it's just my stream, and yours is just Ewok noises.
Yeah, he was here, but we've taken him away. So
we replaced him with an Ewok.
I've been called worse. This story was today. Got this from Games Radar, but a Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel could be happening sooner than we think, according to job listings. A sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order could already be in the works at Respawn Entertainment, with 3 new job listings on the developer's website confirming that the Apex Legends studio is creating a new game set in a universe far, far away. So I think that's sort of giving it away, but the 3 postings
subtle.
The 3 posts they could have thought of something unique. The 3 postings for a senior character artist, level designer, and senior software engineer revealed that Respawn's Star Wars team is working on a third-person action adventure game, even as description fits the same genre that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order comfortably, blimey, get my tongue back in, sits in. Whilst the vacancies don't outright confirm that a new project is a direct sequel to Respawn's recently released Star Wars title, it would be a surprise if such a thing hasn't already been greenlit. So I can't see, in a world far, far away, I cannot see how they aren't already thinking of, hopefully, DLC or New Game Plus, as we've said, because as we said before, I just want to go back into this game as my completely juiced up Jedi and play this again, because I really want to play it again. But they've just got to. I mean, Star Wars Jedi : Fallen Order. That name alone is, let's get rid of Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi : the next game. So they've already set it up to do that, and I cannot see, they've got 3 years, I think, left in the contract, EA. So it might be cutting it fine, but I can see Disney going down the Marvel route going forward, which is anybody can make a Star Wars game as long as it comes to us and we get to say so on it. But it can be you get such a big more demographic of different types of games from it, a little bit like Marvel have done. So I can't wait. I just want to play it now.
No, obviously, I think I would love DLC for Fallen Order. I would, the way that the story finished, I think there is possibility of some DLC.
Yeah.
I think you could easily kind of jump into some extra stories. I want more stories of this crew. It's just fantastic. I'm happy to wait for another game. I'm happy, same as you. I'd love to play through again. You imagine if they actually said, as part of PlayStation 5 or Series X, you're going to get an updated version with even better graphics because, let's touch up those Wookiees. Well, actually, you should always let a Wookiee win and never touch up a Wookiee.
Those Wookiees were dreadful.
Yeah. Oh my god, they were just like someone cosplaying as a Wookiee. But it was just like, so I want that as the pod title. The pod title, never touch up a Wookiee. But I won't. He's dummy. But I just would love to see I'd love to see this game kind of go through that Series X kind of like buffering and polishing, and also I'd love to just see more. I'd just love to see more or get to. I want more from this world. I think that's it. I think even just jumping in the other day to see if the photo mode had activated. I was on Kashyyyk, and I was just ready to I was like, I could just sit and play this, and I offered this to Nicola, but she was like, no, I don't really like Star Wars that much.
Yeah, see, I'm surprised. I'm surprised about that because I when you were talking about that earlier, that was immediately my thought was going that way, was because it's leveling up and it's all this lot. But she's probably had the Star Wars drained out of her.
Yeah, no, Nicola loves like kind of the J.J. Abrams movies.
Yeah.
Like Force Awakens, she really enjoyed. She really enjoyed like Rogue One. Wasn't a big fan of Solo. Rogue One was on ITV the other day. We just I think it was Sunday, and we just ended up just sitting there watching it. And it was just like I was like, oh god, I love this film so much. And and she's a huge fan of the Mandalorian. Mandalorian's a big Friday night for us. It's just like it's Mandalorian time. It's Mandalorian in the morning show time. It's just, but the Mandalorian is always like first on. Once we've had dinner, and that is just. And the last couple of episodes of Mandalorian have been very Star Warsy.
Yeah.
But she's loving it. She's absolutely loving it. Like I say, and will be coming with me to see Rise of Skywalker. That's all part of the contract. She married me. She knows what she got herself in for. Anyway, right. That's about it. That's all of the Star Wars and Xbox that we can kind of handle. As I did say at the top of the show, this is our last pod of 2019. So for all of you out there, big thank you for listening all year, and also just enjoy Christmas, enjoy this time of gaming, enjoy with whatever holiday you're celebrating or whatever time you have off. Grab a game, enjoy, and just kind of play, as well as obviously being with family and loved ones, but it's gaming is more important. But we'll be back next year, won't we, Stu?
Oh, definitely.
We'll be back next year. We'll be back early next year for our Game of the Year. We've had Game of the Decade, but we still need to kind of talk about Game of the Year. And I'll probably just say Untitled Goose Game. But no, we'll be back at the start of next year for more Lost Spark shenanigans. But in the meantime, don't forget you can keep up with us at lostspark.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're at Lost Spark Pod. You can find us on YouTube and also on Game of the Lost Spark PS4 Community and Xbox One Club. We really need to do some more stuff over there. But Stu, where can people catch up with you, sir?
You can catch up with me on Xbox and PSN as General Letdown, and on Twitter as Mr. Stuart Burgess.
Excellent stuff for me. I am Chessman on Xbox Live and Nintendo Switch, PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, if you have any feedback or any questions, you can send it to our email address, and that's feedback@gameslostspark.com. That's about it. Have a wonderful Christmas and say goodbye, Stu.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Christmas and have a great New Year, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bye. Star Wars everywhere.